Day 26. Build your team very, very, very carefully. So I'm a huge believer that trust and loyalty are two of the most, if not the most important things in business. Those two things are very difficult to find. Once you find a business owner, or a business partner or an employee, etc., who you're able to trust, um, you have not only found a very valuable business tool and a very valuable method of growing your business, but here's the thing. In your business, you're not always going to have the you're not always going to have the choice whether or not to trust someone. That's the unfortunate truth. Sometimes you're going to be out here doing business with people, business other vendors, other business owners, etc. And you'll find that due to the nature of the way that you're working together, oftentimes you don't necessarily have the option, to get to trust them. Now you kind of just have to work with them no matter what, especially if you're working on things like big events or collaborations, right, etc. So when you are first growing your team, so when you're first need, and mind you, it's another topic, knowing when you are ready for your first employee. We'll talk about that in another video. But it's so important that you surround yourself with people who you trust, people who are able to think for themselves, are able to think outside the box. But this might sound weird. It's more, in my opinion, it's more important to surround yourself with people who you trust than people who are necessarily that like super book smart and intelligent. As employees, okay? As employees and partners for your business. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So people who, you know, are, for lack of a better term, but more like go-getter, more like that type, they're more willing to take risks. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but for your business, it's more important that you have someone who you can trust to kind of not take those risks. And I'm not saying that all these people are the same, obviously. I'm saying that as you grow your business, you're going to develop a gut. You're going to that sounded wrong. You're going to get better and better at trusting your gut feeling, at trusting your sixth sense. And when you're building your team, it's so much more important to have people who you feel good about, right? And that you feel like you have a solid team that you can trust, than necessarily people who you think are going to be like these outstanding, phenomenal workers, right? Go with your gut when you're building your team, especially when you're just getting started. There's a reason why many people, they hire their family members, right? Because, and again, sometimes that goes wrong as well. So again, as you continue in business, you're going to develop your gut instinct better and better, and that'll help you make better decisions. But when it is time to finally branch out and start growing your team, make sure that you do that very, very, very carefully.